And from there, you can find our phone number and contact information. We hope to hear from you. All right, so let's get right into it and talk about dual enrollment, because one of the best parts about dual enrollment is that you can save big, learn more, and get ahead while you're still in high school. Which brings me really to my first question. What is dual enrollment exactly? Well, the answer is pretty straightforward. Dual enrollment is a college course that a student can take while they're still in high school and also get high school credit. So it's dual credit, both college and high school, before a student ever graduates from high school. And what's even better here at Virginia Highlands is you can save a lot of money for the student and by extension the student's family by participating in dual credit here at Virginia Highlands. And we'll talk more about that tonight. So here we go. We're going to start off our evening with a little quiz. You ready? Dual enrollment leads to A, better grades, B, increased enrollment in college following high school, C, higher rates of persistence in college, or D, all of the above. I'll give you a minute to think about it, but I think you already know the answer. It's D, all of the above. Not only do dual enrollment students make better grades in high school, they also tend to enroll in college at a higher rate, and they stay in college once they get there because they've already got college experience while they were in high school. These are just a few of the reasons that high school dual enrollment is one of the best opportunities for students to get engaged in their college experience before they ever get that high school diploma. And I'm so glad that tonight we're joined by, Pat Farmer's with us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited. Pat Farmer is our very own dual enrollment coordinator. She has served as the coordinator at VHCC since 2017. She works with high schools in Washington County, Smith County, and in Bristol City, Virginia. A former social worker, she was a high school counselor for 28 years, so she understands how it works at the high schools. She's got a passion for helping students with their education, professional, and their life plans. And she's been doing this all total for 36 years. She's a Carson-Newman University graduate where she earned a bachelor's in human services and a master's from UVA in school counseling. So, Pat Farmer, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am.
I'm so glad. All right, so here's my fun fact about Pat Farmer, and I'll promise not to try to embarrass you here. Pat was a music major in college, but then you took a sociology class, and what happened after that, Pat?
I just called home and made that telephone call that every parent hates when you're a junior in college and said, I'm changing my major.
But I tell you what, we are richer because your parents let you out of the music major because you've been spending the rest of your time helping people. What is that, 30 plus years now, helping people, and 28 years as a school counselor, and you've been working with Highlands all these years. What a gift to us. Pat, thanks for joining me tonight. Let's just kind of jump in and get started. But before we, with a few questions, before we bring on a very important guest in a minute that's going to join us live, Angelina, I think, is going to join us live. I'm looking around at my team. Is that right? All right. Angelina Charette is going to join us in just a minute. She's a dual enrollment student at Abingdon High. Way to go, Angelina. And she's here with us tonight, and she's going to give us like that front row student perspective of how dual enrollment works. So, Pat, let me go back to you. Tell me about the high schools. Who in our area, which high schools participate in dual enrollment with us?
Okay. We have Virginia High School. We also have Abingdon, John Battle, Patrick Henry, Holston, Chilhowie, and Northwood. We also have Cornerstone Christian Academy that participates in dual enrollment as well. But we also, in addition to our traditional high schools, we also have Smith Career and Tech and the Neff Center here in Washington County. And we also have a very good population of our homeschool population that we are thrilled that we can help serve, and private schools as well as concurrent high school students.
Well, Pat, it sounds like any high school student in our area can take advantage of an early head start in college education by participating with us in dual enrollment. That's amazing. So let's maybe cut right to the next question. When can students start in dual enrollment?
Traditionally, kids start dual enrollment in the 11th or 12th grade years. However, we do have some exceptional students that do start in the 10th grade. They have to get special permission from their principals to start in the 10th grade.
Okay. And so is it open to everybody? Who gets to take it? Who gets to participate?
You know, that's the great thing about dual enrollment that we provide, is that any student can do dual enrollment. Because we have the students that are on the vocational track that can get quite a few dual enrollment opportunities at the career and tech centers. But then also those kids who are looking at a 4-year college have a great opportunity through the academics. So absolutely any student can participate in dual enrollment.
I love that. And I love that we are able, as a community college, to provide that valuable dual enrollment for students that want to go straight out into the workforce in one of our amazing career and technical education programs, or if you're thinking about transferring on to a 4-year university, and you're going to meet a student who did just that in a little bit. But if you're thinking about going on to a 4-year university, you can take dual enrollment from Virginia Highlands and take those college credits with you. So no matter what your career plans or your college plans are, dual enrollment can be a great place to start. I love that it has a focus that lets anybody participate. Now I want you to listen to Dr. Brian Ratliff. Dr. Ratliff is a friend of mine. He also happens to be the superintendent of Washington County Public Schools, and here's what he has to say about dual enrollment.
There's so much focus on like advanced technology, and we actually have dual enrollment in other areas outside of just your core academics. So it provides opportunity to have academic gain and then career focus. And what a great opportunity, what a great deal for a student and their families. And the other obvious thing to me is the relationship that we have with the community college is so important for the community, school community as a whole, overall community, because everyone gets a good buy-in, they get an affordable rate, they have a great relationship. It may be the difference maker in someone being able to engage in the college, in the career sector, so to speak, or the college or career opportunity that otherwise they may not have been able to do, or maybe not even been able to consider. So what a golden opportunity for us. So it's just a win-win all around to have dual enrollment. The more that we have, the better off we are. And I just think that we have a great relationship here with the Washington County Schools, and particularly with Virginia Highlands Community College. That's unique. And so we're really, really blessed to have that. And our relationship with the staff and our school counselors and our administrators and other people is a great benefit to the whole community. It's not just for the particular student, it benefits the entire community.
He couldn't have said it better. It benefits the whole community. Now, while the student may earn that dual credit, we've got so many other people that are pulled up alongside that student, helping them, supporting them, making sure that they're successful. It's really one of the best opportunities for any student to get that head start in a college career. I so appreciate Dr. Ratliff as he leads the Washington County Public Schools. And we've got great partners in Bristol, Virginia as well, Dr. Keith Perrigan, and in Smith County, Dr. Dennis Carter. The three of those three men and their school districts really lean in with us here at Virginia Highlands and make dual enrollment such a powerful tool for students to get that great head start. Dr. Ratliff also mentioned the value of taking dual enrollment while you're in high school. And now I want to talk a little bit more about saving big money by participating in dual enrollment while you're still in high school. And so I've got a very special guest. I mentioned her earlier, Angelina Charette. Angelina, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. I'm so glad that you could join us. Angelina is a senior. Do I get that right? You're a senior at Abingdon High, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. A senior at Abingdon High School. And, well, I mean, good grief, you're just within a few months of graduating. We won't even talk about the pandemic. Let's skip right past the pandemic and talk about the great things that you're going to do after you graduate from high school. What do you want to do after high school?
I want to pursue Liberty University, and then I want to go further than that and go to medical school so I can go through radiology.
Amazing. Angelina, we're so proud of you. But before you get to Liberty, you've been coming to Virginia Highlands, or maybe Virginia Highlands has been coming to you. Let's talk a little bit more about your dual credit experience. How many dual credits, how many college courses and credits have you earned already?
I've taken about, I think, 7 classes, and I have 41 credits. So I'll graduate with 41.
41 college credits. Wow, that's
Mhm.
fantastic. And so when you do the math on how much it costs to go to college, you've got a 41 credit head start before even graduating from high school. So if you were hanging out in the lunchroom, if we were all in the lunchroom, what would you tell your friends about dual enrollment?
I have a lot of friends who actually don't think that it's worth what it is. They kind of just go like, "Oh yeah, why would you take the hard classes?" But I don't think they realize how much you do save and how ahead you do get. So I think a lot of kids should probably hear that. And then I also don't think they realize how it could help you pick what you want to do or what you don't want to do. So I mean, I've taken a couple classes where like this might not be for me. It might be a really good class, but it's just not what I prefer, or vice versa, where I really like something. So I
That's
think
a
a lot of kids should
great
hear
point,
that.
Angelina. I'm so glad you brought that up. It really does make a difference. You get some of that college experience, and it may help you chart your career path a little better. That's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about how dual enrollment classes differ from your traditional high school classes.
Well, they definitely give you a better taste of what college is going to be like rather than just a normal typical high school class. They push you a little bit more. There's a little bit more of that college aspect to it where you do have to be more so on your own and more so prepared for everything rather than kind of just floating through class. So I think it's a great opportunity to get a taste of that. So
That's
definitely
fantastic.
have that approach to it.
No, it's great. I'm so excited for you. And you said from Liberty on to medical school?
Mhm.
That's fantastic. Here's the beauty of it. Before it's over, you're going to have more than 40 college credits when you transfer into Liberty from Virginia Highlands Community College that you were able to complete while still in high school. That's amazing. It saves a bunch of money. It'll save you a bunch of time. And you're better prepared for your time in Lynchburg because you participated in dual enrollment. Angelina, I'm so proud of you. We're so proud of you. Way to go. We consider you one of ours. So I know that Dr. Ratliff is excited for you and he's happy for you, and we are too. Thank you, Angelina.
Thank you.
41 college credit hours. That's incredible. I'm still just blown away. All right, Pat, are you there?
I am.
Okay, Pat, I'm still trying to get my mind around 41 college credit hours and how much that would have cost for her to go on to a private university and take 41 extra hours. That's incredible. Let's talk a little bit more about that saving big aspect for parents and families.
Well, they absolutely can save big by doing dual enrollment. The plan is the key. So kids need to really start thinking about what they want their high school to look like and what they want their college to look like. So that's something that they need to start preparing for. And that is very easily done by just communicating with their school counselors, which I highly recommend. They are the frontline people inside those high schools to sit down and have a conversation and definitely think about dual enrollment. The other thing that students can also do is think about the community college after high school. That's another way to save some good money. And with our guaranteed admissions agreements that we have with the Virginia public schools and most of the private schools, being a transfer from Virginia Highlands is always a terrific way to go. You're saving a lot of money, but you've got the guaranteed admissions as well. So definitely dual enrollment is the way to go with that. But I tell you, let's just take a look at what a great savings it will be by just taking a look at this graph. If you consider taking a class that is very popular among high school kids, and that is English 111, which is the beginning English for a freshman college student. English 111 is a 3 credit hour class. If you are a dual enrollment student in most of our high schools, you will never pay more than $7 a semester hour. So that 3 credit hour class at the high school is going to cost you $21 out of pocket.
Wow.
$21. If you were to take that same class at Virginia Highlands after graduation, that class is going to cost you $471, which is still not a bad price when you compare to that same class at a 4-year public school. So that is your Virginia Techs, your Radfords, your UVAs. That same class that you paid $21 for in high school, you're now paying $1,239. And if you go to a private school, then that jumps up to $1,800,
That's
almost
incredible.
$1,900.
Wow.
So this is a great illustration of what dual enrollment can do, not only getting you ahead academically, but getting you ahead financially as well.
It's fantastic. And look, this is the part where I jump in, and not only do I champion and cheerlead for those savings, this is another place where I want to jump in and say thank you. The reason we're able to make dual enrollment so affordable is because of the amazing support of our community partners and our local school districts. When I say we all lean in together to help high school students succeed in college, this is a real, tangible financial way that we all work together to make this the best option for a high school student who wants to go on to college. And as you said, Pat, the beauty of dual enrollment is you can take those same credits and go on perhaps to a four-year university, but you can continue to save money and enroll in Virginia Highlands after high school graduation, keep saving those dollars, keep building up those transferable credit hours if that's what you want to do as you make those next steps in your educational journey. Pat, that's what this partnership looks like with our public school partners, Smith County, City of Bristol, and Washington County. But what about for homeschooling parents? You mentioned earlier that they can participate.
Absolutely. Thanks to this college, and I have to give out a big thank you to Virginia Highlands. This year, we have been able to offer the Forward Thinking Scholarship to our homeschooled students, our private school students, and also public ed students that are wanting to do concurrent education. And what concurrent education means is that any course that you take outside of your high school schedule. So if you have a student that wants to take a night class or a weekend class or a summer class, this Forward Thinking Scholarship would be something that they could utilize. So what the Forward Thinking Scholarship is takes that regularly priced class, which at Virginia Highlands, we charge $157 per credit hour. That student now can take that same class for $67 a credit hour. So how that makes a difference is that a 3 credit hour class at Virginia Highlands is $471. With the Forward Thinking Scholarship, it's $200.
Wow.
So it's
less than half. That's amazing.
Right.
And look, thank you for giving the college credit, but I want to extend that credit where it's due. We've got some private business partners that have leaned in with us and want to make dual enrollment possible for homeschool and private school students as well. So even the Forward Thinking Scholarship is another great example of how we work with our community to support the students in our community. So we can save big. We've got that figured out. We know that dual enrollment is a great way to save those big college tuition dollars while maintaining the rigor of a college class. So let's talk about that part too, and how those credits that we've been talking about, that learning, that instruction, the classes we've taken, let's talk about how valuable they are. Once you've earned those credits, where can I go with those things? What's your experience, Pat, as it relates to the transferability or the portability of those college classes?
Well, our students experience incredible success with dual enrollment transferring to other schools. Let's take a look at Will Price. Will is a student at UVA where he is currently on the cheering squad, and he graduated from John Battle, and he earned 60 college credits while in high school at John Battle.
Wow.
Then he attended Virginia Highlands Community College where he earned another 30 credits, and then he transferred seamlessly to UVA, 90 college credits.
That's
so
wonderful.
You're thinking,
yeah.
90 college credits. That's amazing.
Amazing.
The key to transfer credit is actually talking to your high school counselors. It's letting them know what your academic and career plans are, and then also working with our advisors here, because we have fabulous advisors here at the college that when you know where you're wanting to transfer to, we need to make sure that what the courses you're taking in the high school are going to transfer. So that is a great avenue. Will was very careful about what selections he took while he was in high school and what he took when he was here at Virginia Highlands. And thanks to Michael McBride, one of our academic advisors, he was set up beautifully and was able to make that transfer to UVA without any issues at all.
That's fantastic. And I'm so glad you brought up another important part of this whole process and partnership, and that's our high school counselors, who do a fantastic job of connecting those students in the right places. And now, Pat, don't sell yourself short. You do a wonderful job on our side of the table, making sure that students are connected in the right way. I've heard you talking to high school students and their parents, and you ask those great questions too. It makes a huge difference in providing that support. Now, you were talking about Will a minute ago. You said Will finished 60 college credits while he was still in high school. You know, that's almost a whole degree, or it is a whole degree. Mm-hmm. Can a student earn a whole college degree or certificate while they're still in high school?
They sure can. A few years ago, we have now been given the option of offering high school students the option of getting their general studies certificate, which is a 33 credit certificate. It also equates to being about the first year of college. Or they can also do the associate's degree, which is a 63 credit diploma. Now, the great thing about the associate's degree is that we generally use the general education associate's degree for those students that know they're going to go to a four-year college, but they're maybe not quite sure what they want to major in yet. But if we have students that are definitely sure what they're wanting to do, there's a young man at Abingdon High School this year that knows he wants to go into engineering. So this year he will graduate from Abingdon with an associate's degree in science because he wants to do the engineering.
Fantastic.
We are working with this young man so that he can get the supervised study that he is needing for that degree this next semester. So he will actually be working with our engineer instructor here. So we're trying to help bridge. There's a possibility that if he had wanted to or does want to, he could come to Virginia Highlands and finish up some engineering here, and then transfer all of that to Virginia Tech based on our partnership with Virginia Tech. We have, you talk about amazing, we have John Battle this year is going to graduate probably 6 or 7 students this spring with an associate's degree just from that one high school. So we have some extremely motivated students who want to do that.
Well, kudos to those students who work that hard. That's incredible.
That's right.
Super information. Well, look, speaking of degree options, and when I think about the fact that a student can earn a degree, and this young man who's working on his engineering degree and general education or whatever they want to pursue, they can do that while they're still in high school. Kudos to those students who have the personal discipline and the motivation and the support in their high school counselors and teachers to get it across the finish line. We had a conversation with Dr. and Mrs. Matthew Beasley, and they had great thoughts from a parent's perspective. See, they're the parents of Isaac Beasley, who earned a certificate and a bunch of other college credits towards his AA and S degree. And today, Isaac is enrolled at the University of Kentucky. He transferred all of his dual enrollment credits, so he was able to get ahead and save really big before he transferred to the University of Kentucky. And their daughter, I believe, Hannah, is also a dual enrollment student. So the Beasleys used dual enrollment as a springboard for their kids so they could actually lighten their academic load when they got to their four-year university. So it was part of an intentional strategy to help that transition to the four-year degree and reduce some of the stress of that first step into a four-year degree pursuit. Let's hear more from the Beasleys.
Well, it's remarkable how many credits that they can achieve during high school. It can cut out an entire year of college tuition, which is a bonus, or two. but even more so, it allows them to decrease the load that they have during the college, semester. So instead of having to take 15 credits, they can get by with taking 12 credits because they've already got that huge buffer of credits established from their high school experience.
The Beasley's experience and the success of their students was closely linked to a great high school counselor helping them along the way. As I think about this dual enrollment journey and all the options that students have along the way, a common thread that keeps coming to my mind is all of the experienced and wise counsel that they get as they start making these decisions. And high school academic counselors are a really critical part of that. So I'm happy to share with you a conversation that I had with Lisa Dean. Lisa is the high school counselor at Virginia High School. She's been in education for 25 years. She graduated from Mary Washington College with a bachelor's in business administration. She has a master's in counseling and human development from Radford. And Lisa can help us with one very important question. What's the difference between an AP course and a dual enrollment course? So Lisa, thanks for joining us. I'm so glad you're here with us on campus. But let's start right off by talking a little bit about the difference between dual enrollment and AP classes for a high school student.
Okay, for dual enrollment, students earn college credit for the course. They are guaranteed to earn the college credit if they successfully complete the course at the end of the semester. For AP classes, students have to take an end-of-course exam, which, based on how they score on that exam, will determine whether or not they are awarded the credit. So the main difference, for example, if you had a student taking DE English 111 on campus with us, and then you had a student taking AP English language, the dual enrollment student would automatically earn English 111 credit at the completion of the course. The AP student has to take an exam, they have to pass the exam, and then depending on what school they go to, that school determines whether or not they award them the English 111 credit or not.
Got it. So it sounds like dual enrollment by the very nature of it is more of a guaranteed pathway for credit for students as they're taking the course. There's no follow-up exam or different standard at a particular institution that they have to satisfy.
Absolutely.
It's just a straight line to those college credits. And so speaking of college credit, you're both a high school student's parent and you've been a part of the dual enrollment perspective as a high school counselor and as a parent. Talk a little bit about your experience and maybe your child's experience.
Well, I have two boys and they both participated in the dual enrollment program at the high school. They also participated in some AP courses as well. The benefit I see as a parent for dual enrollment is that guarantee that you're going to earn that college credit. It's a cost savings. It often allows students to get some of that those general classes out of the way so that when they get to their four-year institution, for my oldest son, it was just a matter of lightening his load. He was an engineering major, very heavy, intensive programs. So the dual enrollment classes allowed him to lighten his load throughout his 4 years. He still spent 4 years on campus. For my other son, he ended up changing his major. So the fact that he had those dual enrollment classes, those career pathways, the general ed classes under his belt, he is still going to be able to graduate in 4 years.
That's great.
Had he not had those, he would not have been in that position. It also prepared them for college classes. You know, being in high school, they still had the support of our high school teachers, the administration while they were going through the dual enrollment experience. So it gave them a window to what college classes would look like,
right,
while having support. So when they went to their four-year institution, they were well prepared. They understood the rigor, the expectations, and they just both hit the ground running.
That's fantastic. All right, so last question. As a parent of a high school kid, if I came to you and said, hey, how can I determine, or how would I know if my student is ready for a dual enrollment class? What kind of advice might you give the parents in our community who may be thinking about dual enrollment with their students?
Well, if your student is being successful in honors classes in 9th and 10th grade, if they're up for a challenge, if they're a motivated, independent kind of learner, I would say try dual enrollment. We have students that take dual enrollment in maybe one discipline. Maybe they'll try an English class if they're particularly good in English, or maybe they'll try a history class. Some just jump right in and take all of them, whatever. But I think if your child is motivated, if they love to learn, they're a little bit of an independent learner, then that's a good key to whether or not they should take dual enrollment. And first of all, the parents should schedule an appointment with their school counselor, sit down, talk about the needs of their child, and where they want to be in 4 years when they graduate, and they can help map out a plan for them.
Fantastic. What a great conversation that was with Lisa, just to hear a parent's perspective, but also a high school counselor's perspective. And she said some really important things there. She said things like, hey, a dual credit class can be a wonderful transition piece for a high school student because they still have all those supports while taking classes that have college rigor. And for her family, it turned out to be a great way to lighten the load for her students that were going on to four-year universities and not have to bear the full burden along with those family transitions of moving away from home and learning a new community and making new friends. It made it easier for that student to transition to a four-year university. That and a whole bunch of other reasons are why dual enrollment is a great opportunity for high school families and their students. Now, Pat, let's touch on the experience piece for just a second. What can students expect in terms of an academic experience with dual enrollment at Virginia Highlands?
Well, they can expect to have an incredible experience. They're going to be taught by highly qualified teachers. All of these academic dual enrolled instructors have at least a master's degree and 18 graduate hours in the subject in which they're teaching. It is just amazing the skills that they have that they are bringing to their high schools. The college course, it is a college course, but the course that they're taking at that high school is a college level content and highly rigorous course that would be just like what they would take if they were standing or sitting in a class at a college somewhere. So this is a great opportunity. And like Mrs. Dean said, it gives them that experience, but still they have that support of their high school teachers. They have the support of their families and their community around them while they're adjusting to this new kind of pace of a college level course.
That's fantastic. So you've got the college rigor of the intensity of a college course that's going to transfer on, taught by a familiar face in a familiar location with familiar support at a great cost savings. Dual enrollment just makes so much sense for our community, for those students to take advantage of it. And it gives me the opportunity to just remind those students, listen, if you're taking dual enrollment, you are a college student. You're a Virginia Highlands Community College student if you participate in dual enrollment. And that is a nice segue for me to introduce my next guest. Emma Wyatt is on the line with me, and Emma enjoyed the rigor of a college level course and had a great college experience because she got involved with Student Government Association here at Virginia Highlands Community College. So let's bring in Emma to the conversation. Welcome. Uh-oh. Emma, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Sorry, little technical glitch on my side. I should say, Emma, for those watching at home, all that footage you just saw of the kids in school was pre-pandemic, right? So nobody didn't have anybody take their mask off. Isn't that a weird world we're living in now? Emma, thank you so much for being with us. Tell me a little bit about your experience as a Virginia Highlands dual enrollment student. What was it like?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. First of all, I'll comment by saying, wow, the dual enrollment program has certainly changed since I was a student. It was definitely more in its infancy when I was in high school, but I still certainly got a great benefit out of it. I started taking dual enrollment classes when I was probably a sophomore in high school, all at Patrick Henry High School. That's where I went to high school many years ago. And my junior and senior year, I was completely at Virginia Highlands Community College. All of my classes, all of my time was spent here. And it was just a great experience. You know, you're a 17, 18-year-old in the classroom with a 50-year-old, and you might have this, you know, just you have a really different perspective brought to the table. And when you go somewhere like Patrick Henry or Abingdon or Holston, you know, you grow up with those people your whole life, and it's a small world. So stepping into a larger institution, Virginia Highlands, the classes I took here on campus certainly get out of my bubble more and feel comfortable with people from different backgrounds or coming to the table with a different perspective.
Yeah, wonderful. And, you know, being a dual enrollment student means you're a Virginia Highlands Community College student, and you have access to all the other things that our students have, like free academic mentoring and tutoring, student discounts, even our student clubs and organizations and activities. And from what I think I read just a minute ago, you took advantage of some of those things. Tell me about the Student Government Association and your involvement.
Yeah, I always was an overachiever in high school and had to make sure that I was involved somehow. I told them I was the high school representative to the Student Government Association. I was probably the annoying little girl at the time, but I certainly had a good time. You know, I think of it fondly, and I say that Virginia Highlands Community College is one of the most important parts of my life because I met my husband through the Student Government Association. He
That's
went
fantastic.
Yeah, right. He went to Wytheville Community College, and of course, I was here at Highlands, and we met on a student government conference many, many miles away at Virginia Beach, and just realized, wow, we're only 35 minutes away from each other where we grew up, and you know, 8 years
Wow.
later, here we are.
That's fantastic. Look, we didn't even know we do stuff like that. We should probably have charged you more for or something for your dual enrollment experience. Emma, thank you so much. We are so proud of you. Emma, real quick before you go. Uh-oh, did Emma go away? Okay,
No,
Emma,
I'm
you're still
here.
there. Okay, before you go, tell us what you did after you went to Highlands, because I think this is great too.
Sure. So I left Highlands. I graduated high school after I graduated with my associate's degree. So I took a proud associate's degree to Virginia Tech, where I studied, I have a triple Hokie. I studied urban and regional planning, finance, and I have a master's degree in urban planning as well. And for a little while, I left Southwest Virginia and regretted that quickly. So I'm back here working at People Incorporated in Abingdon.
Wonderful. Well, welcome back to God's country. We're glad you're here, and we're incredibly glad that you're a Virginia Highlands Community College graduate. Thank you for spending some time with me this evening and talking about dual enrollment. We're just incredibly proud of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Pat, it's me and you again. Lisa had a bunch to say. We also caught up, though, I think, with Mr. Rocky Baker. Mr. Baker is the principal at Chilhowie High School, and he had some interesting comments about whether or not GPA should be a determination of a student taking dual enrollment. Let's listen to Mr. Baker.
You know, GPAs to me sometimes can be misleading. You know, you take a kid, and I was probably one of those, 40 years ago as a freshman. You know, you come in, you're trying to figure things out, you might struggle, and that GPA might not be as solid. You grow up, you mature, you get a feel for high school, you get a feel for better study habits, as far as, prioritizing your time and things like that. So, yes, I think what we've done in the past is important and it needs to be figured in, but we also need, to, currently look as closely as we can at that child, who they are now. Have they matured into the level of the student that they need to be in order to take that dual enrollment class?
Great insight from Mr. Baker. We have learned a lot tonight about dual enrollment, Pat. Any final thoughts from you?
Yes. I would just like to say the most important thing are for students to share their thoughts, their goals, and yes, their dreams with their school counselors. But there's another group of people that we have not mentioned tonight that I think that we need to mention, and that is our career coaches. And
Yes.
each of our high schools have a career coach. And these are individuals that are hired by their employees of Virginia Highlands. However, they are there to help students get from high school to somewhere. And we would love them to come to Virginia Highlands, but these folk help with college applications. They help do financial aid. They help with career exploration. They work terrifically well with the group up here at the college to get them to where they need to be. And I would just like to introduce them, if I could just take a second to do that. At Abingdon High School, it's Karen Reed. At Patrick Henry High School in Holston, at the current time, it is Buford Wright. Mr. Wright has been a trooper because he's been juggling 2 schools this fall with the pandemic, but that will change soon, and he will stay at Holston, and we will have a career coach at Patrick Henry. Chilhowie is Sanja Widener. At John Battle, it's Marissa Monk. At Northwood, it's Randall Roberts. And at Virginia High School, it is Joe Hutton. So I encourage students and parents to get to know the career coaches because they are a tremendous asset. And they work very, very well with the school counselors. So I do encourage you as students to get in touch with any of these people, the school counselors or career coaches. And certainly, I am always available. I love working with families and students about their plans. And if you're going for the associate's degree or would like to have a conversation about that, definitely you and I they need to talk to me, and we will sit down. We can do that Zoom, or we can do it here with masks on. So we're happy to meet you in any way that we possibly can.
Thank you. Pat Farmer, you're just amazing. And I've seen you work with students, with their parents, with the school counselors, with the success coaches and the whole crew. Keeping it all those plates spinning and everybody in balance is an amazing feat, Pat. I'm so grateful for you, your wisdom and your experience, most of all for your care for our students here at Virginia Highlands and their families. Listen, as we close tonight's broadcast, I just want to remind everybody that the high school students, let me start over. I want to remind you that as we prepare for the 2021 academic year, high school students are going to start building their schedules and thinking about dual enrollment for next fall. Now is exactly the right time for you to be making appointments with your high school counselor, Ms. Farmer, the high school career coaches, with the whole crew of team that are here to help you. And moms and dads and other friends and family, listen, if the whole college experience or the whole college entry process feels a little bit overwhelming, that's okay. We're all here to help, and there's no bad questions, and there's no limit on time. We'll sit with you, we'll help you, we'll walk through the whole process. Now is exactly the right time to be thinking about dual credit for the fall. And beyond dual credit, to be thinking about what that next career step might be, whether it's one of our amazing career and technical education programs or thinking about a 4-year university. We'd love to introduce you to all of those pathways that are available to you here at Virginia Highlands Community College. Pat Farmer will sit down with you. I'll sit down with you. We'll all sit down with you, and we'll put our masks on. We'll figure out how to help your student be successful while they're in high school and let them take advantage of dual enrollment, which is an amazing gift. And so, in the spirit, Merry Christmas to everybody. We hope to see you soon at Virginia Highlands Community College. Good night.